And welcome back to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And it's a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Now, my producer, Bryce, and y'all know I love him because he does such a great job, but he says that the sun that's coming in from Nancy's Neighborhood, sometimes I'm going to be bright and sometimes I'm going to be dull. And so y'all just bear with us as we can't control the sun. But my guest, Michael MacDonald, is not going to have that problem because the sun's not coming over his left shoulder, and we're really glad about that. So, Michael, welcome. We're glad to have you with us today. And I know you wear two hats, and one hat I'm going to just real quickly let you tell about, Highland Acoustic Solutions. Yes, you're going to solve our acoustic problems, and that is one hat you wear.
Yes, ma'am, that is. So hello, everybody. Thank you for letting me be here, Nancy.
I'm so glad you're here.
Absolutely, I'm glad to be here. So Highland Acoustic Solutions is a veteran-owned company, and we basically help noise-proof your churches, your restaurants, your businesses, your homes. You have a new baby in the home, you don't want to wake them up in the middle of the night, or you don't want to get woken up by that baby, we can fix that.
Very good.
So that's what we do.
And I'm going to let you at the end of your part of the show tell people how they can reach you for that, and it may be the same way. But I loved what Michael said. It's a veteran-owned business, and so what I have him on today to talk to us about is vet-com.org. And this is a program I mentioned to y'all several months ago, maybe on the show about Boots to Business. And so that's when I got in touch with Michael and said, come talk to me about this. So let's talk about vet-com.org.
Okay, vetcom.org actually stands for Veteran Entrepreneurial Training Command, and vetcom.org is the short, and that's how you find us online. What we are is we are a nonprofit organization that truly provides a free educational program for our veterans, their families, and their children. One of the biggest things when I came to Bradley County was after retiring after 20 plus years of service, there are a lot of organizations out there that are there to help the veteran reintegrate back into society at large. Now, my wife is from here, which means that I'm not from here, okay? And I do what my wife told me to do.
That's a good husband.
That's what she says too. So what we discovered was there's lots of simple programs out there. So for example, if a veteran's in distress for example, housing issues, medical issues, food issues, utility issues, legal issues, basically the same issues anybody else may have coming new to a town. Those things were there and they're in place and they're doing well and they're doing good for the veteran and their families. However, we started our business here. We communicated with the Small Business Development Center at Cleveland State at least a year and a half to 2 years out. We were engaged, and when I came here, when I started asking about really important programs that I knew existed, not that they didn't want to share, that because we were so far away from what you consider a garrison flagpole, it wasn't as well known, okay? So I started asking around, and I kept asking around, and I finally realized that the only person who was going to provide those answers was VetCom, and that's how the concept came up.
And I think it's an awesome concept. My dad was a veteran of WW2. My husband was a veteran of Vietnam, although he actually never served. He was trained to go. And those that knew him would laugh because trained as a paratrooper. Big guy. So anyway, but veterans have a very definite place in my heart. Joe Davis is a dear friend of mine, and he's Veteran Affairs, one of the guys that works Veteran Affairs here. So veterans have a real place in my heart. So the first time I met you and the first time I read about Boots to Business, I thought, this is awesome.
Well,
and I still think that. And because I think a lot of times people, you don't even have to be a veteran, but some people come in with an idea, a concept, but then they never know what else to do with it.
So what we tell our veterans, one of the first things in the class that I tell people is, my name and who I am. And the next thing I say is, all of you have a great idea. Because the only person or thing that's going to tell you that you have a good or bad idea is, frankly, capitalism.
Yes.
And so if you solely base your future success off the opinions of your great aunt that you wrecked her car when you were 16, she's still going to see you as a 16-year-old kid.
Yes.
So don't take that in consideration, is what I say. But what I will say is apply it and come to our class. It's a 9-week-long course. It's free. I mean, when I tell you free. Your books are provided, your paperwork's provided, everything's provided. You just have to be there. And
How awesome
That's
is
what
that?
we do. That's what we do. We give. It's giving back to the community at large. Um,
Now,
and
I can't just show up to do this. There's a qualification.
yes, ma'am.
You
There
must
surely.
be,
You must be a veteran.
okay.
Okay, or a dependent of a veteran. So in other words, spouse, or a dependent child between the ages of 18 and 26.
Oh, okay.
And that fits within the realm of the Department of Defense's requirements for education. Not that we're funded by any of those folks, because we are not.
I'm not surprised. No.
But what we do is we set you up for future success with the Small Business Administration for loans. There's lots of grants and opportunities out there for veterans, but one of the gatekeeper pieces to that is they have to go through an education process, and, well, frankly, we provide that.
And I think that's awesome. And I know now that Cleveland State offers a reconnect for veterans.
Yes, ma'am.
They can go tuition free.
Yes.
And now that doesn't mean, now what Michael's offering is tuition free, book free, etc. But Cleveland State is tuition free, but I think your books and everything come along. But I think this is awesome. What I love is when anybody says they're an ex-veteran, they're not, because I lived with one. You all just move away from, what do you call it, the garrison pole?
Yeah.
You just move away from the garrison pole. Your lifestyle is pretty much set after 20 years. And so you see things the way you've been seeing things for 20 years.
That's right.
And that's what I love about you coming into Bradley County, because you saw some things that we need. And you were willing to jump in and say, let's see what we can do with them.
Absolutely. That's what I want to do.
And I think that's great. So in this class that I'm not going to take, but these veterans, their dependents, or their children might sign up to take, give me a little, how do we start this?
Okay, well, first and foremost, where you can get started with is you can reach us on our website of vet-com.org, and there is an email point on there where you can contact us. You can also go to the Small Business Development Center over there at Cleveland State and see either Jenny or Dave, for example, and they can help you align with this course as well. And they're also an added benefit because they're there to help you beyond the education piece
Yes,
itself. A wonderful resource, veteran or not veteran, but they're wonderful people over there. Jenny was my point of contact over 3 years ago, and we still maintained a very good relationship.
And Michael, and I've enjoyed talking to Michael because they moved here from Alaska. So our weather that we're looking at for the rest of this week, Michael's not upset about. The rest of us are going to go get our heavy coats out, but coming from Alaska. So, and that was your last, where you were last deployed, was Alaska.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have come to Cleveland. I'm sure that's a big change for you, even though your wife's family is from here. But you're right about the Small Business Development Center. They are the best kept secret in Bradley County, and I try to help them not be that, but they are, because they do wonderful things.
Yes.
Now, you've already taught one Boots to Business course.
Yes, ma'am. That's true. We graduated a class already of 11 veterans and their
good.
families.
Okay.
Some of those folks have already started their own businesses.
Wow.
So I will tell the name Michael Culp, the Spice Rack. You can find him online and on Facebook.
Neat.
He's already started his process, and everybody else is in some step or another of getting on their way. We've had people in our class that are doing everything from non-GMO spices, things of that nature, to lawn care, to IT services, to bridal services, to
Wow.
venue services, to automobile shops. I mean, and the list is endless. I mean, endless. It's amazing what we have out there. And so there's opportunity everywhere you go. And you just have to take that effort to get there. And that's the reality.
The thing I love about being a small business owner and about these folks that are interested in doing this, I have people say to me all the time, "Oh, Nancy, it must be wonderful to own your own business. You can take a vacation whenever you want to, and you can do this and that and the other," but that's not the case. So I'm sure when you talk to these people about starting a business, that they understand when they leave you what's entailed in them doing this.
Absolutely. So within a 9-week course, we start out with the basics. In other words, the right idea, and then we move on to things like marketing, knowing your competitive area. So in other words, your sphere of influence. So for example, if you want to open up a burger shop and there's 500 other burger shops in your immediate area, well, you have a lot of people you can cheat off of to kind of find out what the market poll is on that.
There you go.
However, what if your burger place may be not profitable opportunity because there is 500 burger places in the immediate area? So it allows you to kind of look at and re-identify and re-engage your thought process a lot. So that's part of our class. We had one veteran student in our class, start out as they're going to create a venue for party planning, and then moved into catering, and then figured out that they can do both, and that's what they're doing. So in other words,
fantastic.
and so instead of having to reach out to somebody else, they now are their left and right hands helping each other in that process.
And that's great. And that's another thing I was going to ask. If someone comes in and says, I like doing this, then do you try to lead them along into what their like can be turned into?
Absolutely. So if you have something called an expensive hobby,
Yes.
right? If you have an expensive hobby, sometimes that expensive hobby can be a profitable expensive hobby. So, for example, I have a friend of mine in Alaska right now. When Army guys, military guys get out of service, a lot of us grow beards because we're just tired of shaving, right?
Well, it's the thing now, though.
It is the thing,
Yeah,
right?
it is
It's the thing.
the thing.
It's the thing. So, what he did is that being in Alaska and he retired there, beards get a little heavier in the wintertime, of course, and they get dry and they get itchy. So he created a company called Permafrost Beard Company. And what it is basically him and his wife have created natural products for guys to treat their beards with. And so it's an expensive hobby that he's been personally doing for 2 or 3 years before he retired. But we all been buying his stuff. So finally, one of us said, why don't you just put a label on it, put it on Facebook? Now he's got a business that's drawing customers from all 50 states. It's great. And overseas. It's wonderful. So a little idea can go a long way if you just put the right marketing effort towards it.
Right. And if you have somebody also like you that is going to say, okay, let's expand that just a little bit, or let's go this way with it. I know sometimes with ideas you can go this way, you can go this way, or you could throw it out the door. So, and I think for them to have a sounding board.
Yes.
And that helps because sometimes I have these ideas and I think, oh, that's not going to work. But you don't know.
Which leads into something, I'm glad you brought that up. So not only do we talk about how we're going to develop the business for the individual and for the community at large, because it does benefit the community to create a business.
Yes, it does.
We also pseudo-create a network. Some of these people never met each other before. And you start creating a network of people who they now know what you do or what you provide or your services. And then on top of that, you're not just inclined to meet other veterans, you're inclined to meet people who aren't veterans.
True.
I mean, the massive society has not served in one way, shape, or form.
And
that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's okay. What we're stating is we're looking for people also, not just to take the class, but maybe people to become mentors in our community to, for example, I'm an acoustics engineer by my trade. You're not an acoustics engineer, Miss Nancy.
No, I am not.
Right?
Thank you very much for pointing
However,
that out.
you've been in business in town here for quite a while versus myself. So, for example, you would be a mentor for me in that aspect. In other words, where do I go to get my business license in town, Nancy? I know the courthouse just caught fire and there's smoke everywhere. How do I get that done? This is the purpose of mentors. They actually are good sounding boards for the veteran and the entrepreneur. And what that does is it also creates a secondary networking opportunity. We have already found that quite a few of the pseudo mentors that we've had in our last class have already helped our veterans out beyond the classroom.
Wow.
Which
okay.
it matters.
It does
all
matter.
matters.
It does matter.
So,
all right. Tell everybody out there how they can get in touch with you to find out more about this program or
Okay.
also to find out about Highland Acoustics.
all right, so let's talk about VetCom first because that's the most important part here. So if you want to reach out to us directly, you can dial 833-838-2661. Or you can reach us at www.vet-com.org. And just give us a call or an email. That's the best way to do it. If you want to reach over to the Small Business Development Center, please look them up on Facebook or Google real fast.
Or Cleveland State.
Or Cleveland State, and you can absolutely do that, and they'll be happy to talk to you about the program as well. And as far as my personal business is concerned, you can just look for us on Facebook or online at highlandacousticssolutions.net or just on Facebook in and of itself, and we'd be happy to help you there too.
Michael, thank you so much. We could talk another while about this, and I may want to get you back on and talk after you start. When is your next Boots to Business starting?
Thank you. Our next class is going to start January 16th. It's on a Tuesday. Classes are from 5:30 to 7:30 at night, so it doesn't interfere with the family life. If you have a job, dinner most of the time gives you one day out of the week, and it's only a 2-hour class per week, and the rest is home-driven homework.
Oh, fantastic.
So, and it's going to be taught right over here at the Center for Social Impact on Ocoee Street, 85, South Ocoee Street, and that's where our offices are located as well.
Okay, super. Michael, thank you so much for being on with me. And
Thank you, Miss
I
Nancy.
may call you back and we'll go delve a little bit deeper into this once your classes start.
Thank you very much.
Folks, don't go away now. Watch our commercials, like I tell you, and support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And we're going to be right back with the announcements of upcoming events.